Here we go. What's up, you guys? I'm out here with Mr. Anderson. Let me go. Okay, yeah, I love that. So what's up?
I got some ice cappuccino, man.
Don't worry about that. That's all good. So we actually just had a show, literally like an hour ago, at Ridley's Comedy Castle. This guy is really funny.
Oh, thank you.
Despite the censoring.
Oh, right.
we both had to censor a little bit of what we were talking about for this crowd, but
yeah, it was a family-friendly show, so
which means very minimal amount of words. Like you can't be colorful with your vocabulary.
No shit, bitch. Grandma's vagina juices. You can't say that.
This was all built up, by the way, from all the time we could, so we're just gonna let it all out here.
Yeah. We're gonna do the 7 words of that you can't say on TV.
George, may he rest in peace.
Yeah.
Hey man, so what we were talking about earlier was you read books. Like stand-up books. I've never read any of them. Like, I mean, I read books, I've never read a stand-up book. Did it benefit you at all?
I think it did in this sense that they give you advice that you kind of want from like veteran comics that you don't have to actually go to veteran comics and ask for. So, I mean, the advice is from veteran comics like Chris Rock and Jerry Seinfeld and at the time Ellen DeGeneres and stuff like that. So. Like these books are like wonderful sources to get advice that you would regularly get from just like your local veteran comedians, but they're a national.
What are the books so that they know? Well, how many did you read?
I think I read like 3, but
which one was the most helpful? If you remember the title or who wrote it.
I think the most helpful one was The Art of Stand-Up Comedy by Franklin Ajayi.
Art of Stand-Up Comedy. That's a solid title too.
Yeah, I mean that was the one that had a lot of the, the comedian's advice thing in the back. It was like half him just like breaking down like the basics of comedy, like the setup, punch, and all that stuff, and then the second half was all the interviews with Jerry Seinfeld and all those guys in there.
Okay.
So,
what was the best piece of advice? Or what was best is very relative. What was the most useful for you?
I think Jerry's was. I mean, there was a lot of them. I wouldn't put any.
Yeah, like we're picking between like some of the greatest comedians of all time. So.
Yeah. But like, it's just the first one that comes to mind. And one of the pieces of advice Jerry gave was that a bad audience, or maybe I should start with a good audience helps you explore, and then a bad audience helps you edit. So. What he means by that is that like when you're like at a good show where the audience is just like going with whatever you're saying, you can use that opportunity to take a bit that's you've been meaning to add on to and just explore that a little bit, like maybe like a bit that you've been doing but only been going so far with it. That's the perfect audience for you to go deeper into that, subject, see what else that you can garner from that joke.
We had minor malfunctions because the battery ran out, but that's how you do with a good audience. Now, what happens when you have a not so good audience?
Yeah, an audience that, it's just not kind of going with you on some of your like crazier bits or like some of the ones that don't connect too well. So a bad audience helps you edit. So that's pretty much how to get to the joke quicker. How to get to the funny quicker, because you don't want to lose them. Yeah. Because if you don't get to the funny right away, you're gonna lose that audience.
I think one of the biggest things that people like do wrong in the beginning is it's too wordy.
Yep.
Because when you're describing so I've actually seen this more. I think you've probably seen this more than I have. So when whenever you're writing a joke and you're describing something, like so for example, if I say school bus, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to say the yellow school bus with many seats and there was this long. Like the moment you say school bus, everyone knows what you're talking about. So don't keep on describing it. But like I think that is a big mistake that I know I made. I see it a lot with like new comics. Like just get to the point.
Yeah, I think they're spending too much time about the detail of the situation and not what is funny about it. What is funny? Like if you can get to the funny with the least amount of words possible. Jerry Seinfeld is very good at word economy.
Oh yeah.
And that's just using the least amount of words to get you where you need to go.
I do that. How do you write? Like when we read new material, like do you actually write like hand and paper when you go home or something? What's your process for new stuff?
Most times I just get inspiration and I'll like write out the idea and then work it out on stage. And then after I've got a good chunk worked out on stage, then I might go back and maybe edit here, edit there, add a tag here on paper.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I do the exact opposite. Like, we like reverse of that process.
Yeah.
Everything that I say on stage is handwritten before, like word for word handwritten.
Right.
And part of the reason I do that is because I get a lot of anxiety when I get on stage.
Yeah.
So if I have something that's like, because I saw you do your stuff, like you had like a phone out and you had like just the titles of all your bits, and you're like, and that's how you just keep track of like everything. I mean, because they're yours. So it's like, you know what you're talking about because you're the one who made the notes. But like for me, it's gonna bring me like more security if I just have word for word everything written out. Yeah. Because I mean, that just brings me like more comfort.
I think the style that I'm going for is like conversational. And so
yeah, mine is not conversational. Yeah, his is definitely more like involved with the crowd. Whereas I'm like, when I get on stage, I'm just like, I'm gonna do my thing and I'm gonna leave. But you actually like, you'll talk to them. You're more interactive. I'm far less interactive than he is.
Yeah, it's just I think with my stuff, I kind of like, I want to connect with the crowd. So
I don't. I just do my thing and I'm gone.
I put these jokes into your mouth and I'm out. Pretty much. Yeah, I just really want to connect with people. So it's just like, that's why I chose the conversational style, because I think you can achieve that a lot easier with that style. And so that's why, you know, I kind of work things out on stage because it starts off conversational.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, you can't work out a conversation on paper.
Right, unless you're an incredible writer.
Yeah, unless you're just that good that you can already determine. Okay, well, because when I have jokes, like what I'll do is I'll set it up. So, yeah, his secret's coming out right now. But like what I do is when I ask a question to the audience, I will actually ask a question such that it doesn't matter who I ask. My next, like the words I say after that are predetermined. Right. Like, so for example, like without giving away the whole bit, like when I ask someone in the audience, like, hey, do you have a boyfriend? Or hey, do you have a girlfriend? Like, doesn't matter what they respond, how I respond will be the same way no matter what they say. Right. So, but that's not conversational. Like that's all calculated beforehand. And also like I ask like 1 or 2 questions. Yeah. I don't really like interact with them as much. I mean, it's not like, I haven't had any bad experiences with it, but just me personally, all my comedy is like way calculated, whereas you do a lot more stage work and like crowd work.
Yeah, and the reason I do that is just because like it's another reason why, like there's
nothing wrong with it. It's just like his style's different than mine. Like I'm not saying one's better than the, I don't know which is better. I'm not that good.
That is, I mean, it just depends on who you are as a person, you know? Yeah. I mean, whatever fits you best is what's better, you know? I can't do deadpan, you know, just straight one-liners because I get bored, you know? But, and I'm not that strong of a writer. So that's all. That
would be, okay, yeah. What I, like, my writing process is so like, if I have an idea, I'll just put like the general framework in my phone, like in my notes, and then I'll go home. Or like if I'm driving, I'll do like the voice recording and talk to my phone and just put it away. And then when I go home, I'll listen to the voice recording, or I'll read my notes on my phone. And I have like, actually at this point I have multiple journals. Like I think I have almost 400 pages.
Nice.
worth of stuff. And then like it's just handwriting. Like I'll read what I have and I'll just handwrite the jokes and I'll just keep going and going and going.
Wow.
But that's my writing style. Like I physically write. I don't type it either. Like for me, it's different when I'm typing on a computer as opposed to writing it with my like hand. Yeah. I don't know why this just connects far more with me than just typing it.
I feel like you know, I'm running into that thing where, you know, Will Smith had this thing about like, you know, even if, because he's not the most talented guy, right? Will Smith. He just works really hard. That's what he says about himself. Yeah. Like he just works really he's willing to outwork the other guy. And he said like talent alone isn't gonna get you where you need to go.
Oh, talent versus skill?
Talent on top of skill, yeah. And the thing that I'm having trouble with is I think I'm pretty talented. But I don't really work very hard, you know? So I just kind of stumble upon punchlines sometimes after a while, and then like, you know, I'll just keep with that, and then I won't work on things. There's a few bits that I have worked on, but like there's a lot of bits that I haven't, and I could be a lot further if I would
work
you know,
on
be
them.
more of a skill type, you know, work harder and just like, you know, rewrite some stuff and all that good stuff. But
along with Will Smith, actually, Kanye West has, like, he explained how he makes his music, actually, and he has admitted that he's not a great musician.
right.
Like, I mean, I'm not, you go ahead and look it up, Kanye West, I don't know what interview it was, right? But like, he straight up said, I am not a good musician.
Yeah.
But he excels at, it's like, I mean, he's not a good producer, let me say that.
Yeah.
Right, like, his vocals and his lyrics are pretty freaking great.
Right.
But he has, like, that's why, to compensate for his lack of production value, in every one of his songs, you can even look at this, there is never a single second where there is not a chorus or harmony with a bass drop. He does this on purpose, because, so the only time you, in Kanye West songs where you hear, where it's like, where there's like no vocals, is when you just have like the opening or the closing. Like, so I'm thinking of the song like All of the Lights with like him and Rihanna, I think. Only time that you don't hear someone singing is it's the same music that they use to open and end the song.
Yeah.
And he does that for all of his songs.
Oh, I didn't
Like,
know that.
he makes sure that he is always saying something while there's a like beat in the background. Like, he doesn't ever like do vocals with no like really hard like beat going on.
Oh, okay.
Because he admits he doesn't have a voice that fits music. He's like, my voice is not built for music, and he admits that.
And so that's why he just experimented with auto-tune and all that
Exactly,
stuff. Yeah, hey, do what you
But
do.
like, I mean,
He's
it's
making it
working.
work.
Yeah, it's like what I was trying to get at was you might think that like you don't have the skill for it, but you don't necessarily have to develop that. Like, you can develop another skill and just do it your own way.
That's
like
true.
he did.
Just expound on my strengths and just kind of, you know, exploit that or whatever.
One of the most popular rappers in the world admits he's not good at singing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And like Will Smith is an A-list actor for how many years now? Like, and he
Right.
admits that he's not the most talented person. Like,
just outworks you, man.
yeah.
And I need that work ethic, man. I wish I was born in a third world country and I was, you know, came over here as an immigrant, and then I probably would have.
That's how we do it. I'll tell you, there is.
I got
like,
soft, man. I'm an American. I'm a soft.
Yeah, that's. There's too many. I don't know if that's what it was. It might be like, because pressure does build diamonds.
Yeah.
So I think there probably is a little bit of like, especially when it comes to comedy, I guess this doesn't happen too often, right? But no one's gonna fake laugh for you.
Right.
And that's actually a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think sometimes it's taken like the wrong way by people who are brand new to comedy. Like, they'll invite their friends and family and stuff.
Yeah.
And like they'll like hype them up more than they actually are worth.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, I don't know what it is about the whole work ethic thing, but I think too many people have an inflated like view of how good they are.
Yeah, and even when I was starting, I had a inflated view of where I should be, and it, you know, oh, I'm not getting this opportunity. You know, I would pull the race card. I'm not getting this opportunity because I'm black.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're just not good, and I had to realize that.
Sometimes you're just not good.
Yeah, or good enough for the thing that you want. You know?
Yes.
Like, well, I remember when I first started, the first time me doing stand-up was for a comedy competition at my college. And
That was the first time ever doing it?
Yep.
All right. So you shoot for the stars.
Oh yeah, well, it was just me being like, at that time I was just trying different things. The college is all about experimentation, and so I saw that competition, I was just like, how hard can it be? And the first round, you're supposed to do like 3 minutes of material. Now that 3 minutes doesn't seem
3 minutes is nothing now. Yeah.
But back then, I was like coming off of theater, you know, I was like an actor or whatever. And
Okay.
so I only could do anything just on script. So if I wrote something and I ran out of words, that's it. I'm not gonna come up with any improv. I'm not gonna come up with anything else.
Okay.
So in the first round, I went through my material. It was pretty good, you know, but it was like 2 minutes long. I raced through it because I was so nervous, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's 2
That's
minutes,
very common.
and then, you know, at the end of 2 minutes, I was just like, oh, I guess that's it. Goodbye. And of course, they didn't pass me because, you know, the first round is 3 minutes, and the last round is 15 minutes.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're like, if you
Man.
can't do 3 minutes now, what makes you think you're going to be able to do 15 minutes later?
Oh, okay.
But in my mind, I was just like, man, I was the best one, man. They
Yeah.
passed me because I'm black, man. You know, and you just don't see that perspective because you're just coming into a new avenue and you just don't know everything yet, you know?
Stand-up is also, it's different than acting in that like actors don't write their own lines.
Right.
When it comes to movies, like
Right.
hope people realize that. Like when you see like Thor saying like really awesome movie quotes, that's not Chris Hemsworth's idea.
Right.
Like someone wrote that for him to say.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like stand-up, you are your writer, you are the actor, you're the producer, you're the director, marketer, you are everything. That's what makes it harder, and also makes it more interesting.
Right, and we don't get paid.
And you don't get paid jack.
Yeah, as a stand-up comedian, even though you do all those jobs, you still don't get paid them. Like they still pay you the same amount as they did in like the 80s and 90s. You know, the pay hasn't gone up.
The ratio hasn't changed.
Yeah.
But one thing, you know, what's actually a benefit to being a like stand-up is that at least there's a path. There's no one path to success, by the way, but like actors don't have like open mics.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if you want to be an actor, like where do you practice?
I mean, I guess you could practice at home. Like you could practice facial expressions, practice your emotions, practice.
But how do you know if you're good?
I guess like.
That's what I was saying, man. Like at least as like comics, we have open mics we can go to and test it.
Right. Yeah, you get that
but
instant.
But where do actors go to test if they're good actors?
Right. I mean, they can't unless.
I don't know of any place they can do that.
Unless now, you know what? Now with YouTube.
Yeah, you can post your broadcast yourself. That's your logo.
Yeah, and then you post it on YouTube, and you get an immediate reaction right there. Like, or I mean, if someone sees your video, like
someone will probably see it. I mean, like if you do like reenactments of like popular movies.
Right. Yeah.
There's a higher chance of people actually looking at your videos. I guess. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, YouTube. I mean, obviously I have my own channel. That's where you're watching this, but YouTube is really helpful. A lot of people, dude.
Yeah, I'm too scared to go on YouTube because I'm afraid someone will make fun of everything you got going on here. You know.
But you're a comedian. What do you mean? Why are you afraid of people making fun of you? That's what you do.
Here's the thing.
You make fun of yourself.
Comedians are the most insecure. Artists in general are.
I agree with you.
Yeah, artists in general.
Just say it.
Yeah, are there some of the most insecure people in the world? Like that's why we do stand-up comedy, is because we can control what people laugh at. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like
we're control freaks.
Yeah. So it's just like putting your stuff on YouTube. It's just like putting yourself out there for millions of people to judge you, instead of just maybe 20 people in the audience, or maybe 400 or whatever else. But and that thought, I need to get over that thought, because if I want to be in this business, I kind of have to get over.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's gonna happen when you go to Madison Square Garden and there's like 10,000 people or something?
Well, if I'm in Madison Square Garden,
all right, maybe at that point we should be fine.
Right. I mean, because they're gonna be coming to see me, so I think I'll have a little bit more
confidence. And part of my logic for starting like this whole YouTube thing was like, because I used to upload my stand-up to YouTube. Yeah. I don't do that anymore. Yeah. Because I feel like Bill Bouchard, he was the one who was like, you shouldn't upload your stand-up, partially because you're not good yet. And I was like, and looking back at it, I definitely was not. Not there. Right. The other one was like, if it's already the difference between stand-up comedy and music is like, you can listen to a song over and over again, it's still a good song. Once you hear a joke once, it's done. Yeah, the surprise is taken out of it. Right, yeah. That's like, most of what a punchline is the surprise of it. And you can't hear the same joke over and over again and enjoy it. You can hear a song like for years on end and it'll still be a good song. The comedy doesn't work that way. Right. So he's like, once people see it, like they're gonna see you in live, and they're gonna be like, where's the rest of your stuff? Yep. So I was like, good point. But my logic behind that was like, if people, because like what you said, in the audience you have like 20, 30 people, right? But if I put myself on YouTube, now my audience is unlimited. But I'm not to the stage yet where I should be doing that. Unless you can produce a lot of material, like that was the other option. Prolific. That was the other option, was like, if you upload like 5-minute, like just little snippets of yourself, you gotta do that a lot. Yeah. And especially for someone who's beginning, I didn't know how bad I was until I got better. Right. Because I look back at the way I started and I was like, man, I sucked. Yeah, I did too, man. That inflated view is back. Yeah, man. It's and it's not just about being prolific, it's about being prolific and having it be quality too. Yeah, you can't just upload a bunch of crap and then one good. It has to be quality content. People actually enjoy it.
There's actually a comedian right now, Andrew Schultz, who is putting out videos a lot of his stand-up, and I think a lot of it is maybe some crowd work, which is smart because that material isn't going to be done anywhere else, like, because that's just for that crowd. And so you're seeing like, oh, this cat's funny, but he's not going to do that material at your show because it's going to be a different type of crowd work. And that way he's putting out funny material, people are knowing who he is, saying he's a funny cat, and he's not, you know, burning any material.
That's our time, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, man. Like, any social media or anything that you want to shout out? Like, here, let me just move that. Go for it.
Where
can they find you, Darnell?
Twitter, Darnell in real life. Well, I mean, the Twitter handle is actually at Darnell, DARNELL_IRL. And that's the same for Instagram. And I'm working on my website right now, darnellanderson.com. If you go to it now, it's gonna be like it's under construction, but eventually I'm gonna have it up and it's gonna be popping, so.
All right, man, well, that's what we got. Thank you so much for coming out, dude.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. All right, thanks you guys for watching. Stay fresh, stay golden.